On our broadcast here tonight, uphill fight. The president goes to Congress hoping to head off a Democratic family feud over deficit spending. Not so fast. Home sales are still in the basement, but a slight upward tick raises hopes of a silver lining in a dark economy. Her father's story, Maria Shriver's moving testimony about her famous father and a family struggle with the slow heartbreak of Alzheimer's. And making a difference. It takes a lot of hands to hold back the Red River. Tonight, it's all hands on deck in the American Midwest. Also tonight, a hero's welcome at the White House. It was a long time coming. Nightly News begins now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening. Last night, the president tried to take full advantage of the home field advantage that comes with incumbency, a chance to spend an hour with the American people in the form of a primetime news conference. He got a chance to lay out his positions, what he wants, how he plans to pay for it. Well, today that spotlight shifted a bit to Congress. President isn't going to get everything he wants. No one ever does. But he wants to hold the family together while both sides are fixing for a fight. It's where we begin tonight with our own Savannah Guthrie at the White House. Savannah, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. Congress unveiled its version of the federal budget today, and the White House says it's pleased its core priorities in health care, energy, and education remained intact. But Congress saved the hardest questions, how to pay for all that, for another day. The president traveled to Capitol Hill to meet with Senate Democrats behind closed doors. Vice President Joe Biden lunched with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
We're going to get our budget with all the major elements intact.
The House and Senate officially unveiled their versions of the federal budget, but with some key differences from the president. Gone is the Obama administration's signature initiative, a permanent middle-class tax cut, a proposal to pay for health care with tax hikes on the wealthiest Americans, and billions the president had set aside for future financial bailouts. Congressional Democrats also slashed some of the president's proposed spending because the Congressional Budget Office forecast a deficit $2.3 trillion higher than White House projections.
When we got the new forecast, and I had the responsibility of delivering that news to him, he understood immediately the implications.
Since the president's budget was hand-delivered to Capitol Hill a month ago, Republicans have kept up a drumbeat of opposition.
Spends too much, it taxes too much,
and it borrows too much.
Today, congressional Democrats postponed some of the toughest questions, leaving room in the budget for health care, but not a specific plan to pay for it. And the president's controversial plan to combat global warming was left out of the budget. Still, White House Budget Director Peter Orszag says the president's priorities are intact.
It's not like we can just ever expect to send up a budget and have it mimeographed or Xeroxed and then have a vote on it. That's not a realistic expectation. It's not the way we govern in the United States.
Well, that middle-class tax cut will be in effect for the next 2 years, and the administration says it'll work on a way to make it permanent. Tomorrow, the president holds a town hall here at the White House. He'll take questions online and from a live audience. Again, Brian, trying to push this budget, sell his priorities directly to the American people.
Savannah Guthrie starting us off at the White House tonight. Savannah, thanks. On Wall Street here in New York today, a wild ride as the Dow rallied early. Gave it all back, then surged higher at the closing bell. At the end of it all, the Dow finished up just under 90 points. One part of the economy that's given investors some hope this week, the housing market. It's so far just a glimmer, but monthly home sales numbers for February have come in higher than a lot of economists expected. That has some people wondering whether there might be something at work here. Our report from CNBC's Scott Cohn.
Master bedroom with a double tray ceiling.
Traffic is brisk at this open house near Tampa.
We've seen an onset of buyers that we haven't seen in years now.
Even more than the usual jump this time of year. Nationwide, new home sales were up nearly 5% last month, though still far below where they were a year ago. And existing home sales posted their biggest monthly increase in 5 years. Why? Because prices have plunged, down 18% from a year ago for new homes, 15% for existing homes.
Now, can someone build behind that fence?
That's what brought Brian Stroka to the open house in Florida, all the way from Ohio.
It's the best time I've ever seen in my time that I've ever looked for a house. Prices are lower than I've ever seen them.
This house, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2,000 square feet, sold 3 years ago for $387,000. Now it's on the market for $205,000. It's simple supply and demand, and it's happening across the country. With so many homes on the market thanks to the housing bust, it's hard to resist the resulting low prices. So does this mean the housing market's finally turned the corner? Not quite. Prices are still falling, meaning the market hasn't hit bottom. And while interest rates are at historic lows and mortgage applications are up, most of those applications are for refinancing.
6 by 4.
Florida builder John Van Hoff says people are still having trouble getting loans.
Banks just aren't coming on board.
But the biggest problem, the overall economy is still hurting.
As long as we're losing jobs and unemployment's rising, the housing market's just not going to get much traction.
It has a double door entry.
The house in Florida hasn't sold yet. They plan another open house this weekend. But at least they've got people looking, and that is a welcome sign.
Hi, sweetie.
Scott Cohn, CNBC, West New York, New Jersey.
Along the border between North Dakota and Minnesota, rescue crews are working to evacuate people stranded by the rapidly rising Red River. Officials are warning the river could crest at an astonishing 41 feet by Saturday. That'd be worse than the record flooding that hit the area a century ago. We are keeping an eye on it. Volunteers are pouring into the flood zone to help. Later in this broadcast, we'll have more on how they are, all of them, making a difference. We wanted to take a moment tonight to note a stunning turn of events in Iraq. As you might have noted, there was not one question about the war in last night's presidential news conference. While it has been crowded off the national radar of late, the level of violence in Iraq has thankfully fallen sharply. A military spokesman there said today the number of attacks has dropped to the lowest level since the months following the U.S. invasion 6 years ago now, from a peak of more than 1,200 attacks a week to what is now often fewer than 100 a week. And we learned today there's no more global war on terror, at least has been renamed by the Obama administration. The Pentagon will now call the ongoing U.S. military effort the Overseas Contingency Operation. Now we turn to the drug war south of the border in Mexico. The Obama administration calls that nation's drug cartels a national security threat to this country. The president will pay a visit to Mexico next month. His Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is there tonight. With her, our chief foreign affairs correspondent Andrea Mitchell, who filed this report.
Police and kidnappers shoot it out in Baja, Mexico. While in Tijuana, investigators search a truck riddled with bullet holes. Another victim in an escalating drug war that has already killed 7,000 people in the past 15 months. Today, Hillary Clinton said the U.S. has to take responsibility for the insatiable appetite for drugs that is fueling the illegal trade.
We know very well that the drug traffickers are motivated by the demand for illegal drugs in the United States.
60% of the drugs in the U.S. come from Mexico, a $38 billion a year industry. But 90% of the cartel's guns come from the U.S.
We need to do more to make sure that illegal guns and cash aren't flowing back to these cartels.
Clinton told Mexico's leaders help is on the way. The Obama administration is pledging 360 new border agents, high-tech surveillance equipment, and helicopters. Here in Mexico, people see some hope in the Obama plan. But they say to really fight the drug cartels, much more needs to be done on both sides of the border. The U.S. says Mexico's President Felipe Calderón is attacking the cartels and police corruption. But Ana Maria Salazar, a lawyer and human rights activist in Mexico City, says her government needs more help than the U.S. has promised.
Mexican citizens and the Mexican government look at the United States and they say, okay, the United States, if you want to control the violence on the border, you have to also acknowledge your responsibility.
For a crisis that U.S. officials today called America's #1 organized crime threat. Andrea Mitchell, NBC News, Mexico City.
In that news conference we televised last night, President Obama was asked about his role as the nation's first African-American president. He noted he had about a day to think about it before he had to get to work, and it was a reminder of the great strides this nation has made in race relations. But today there was a reminder of how much work remains to be done to heal what has long been this nation's greatest wound. More from NBC's Ron Mott.
We seek. 2 months on the job, President Obama today got a sobering message about the state of Black America, detailed in the National Urban League's annual assessment of racial progress.
The country's in a ditch, and Black Americans have lost ground over the last 8 years. Those are the facts, and those facts are not lies.
According to the report, blacks are 3 times more likely to live in poverty as whites, more than 6 times as likely to be imprisoned, and blacks lag behind in home ownership and median household income.
Could I ask you about race?
You may. During his primetime news conference Tuesday night, the president was asked whether race played a role in any of the policy debates underway at the White House.
Obviously, at the inauguration, I think that there was justifiable pride on the part of the country that we had taken a step to move us beyond some of the searing legacies of racial discrimination in this country, but that lasted about a day.
What's lasted longer, according to the report, is the slow but steady widening of the gap between whites and blacks in recent years on priority issues.
What about your background, educational background?
Like economics, education, and jobs. Soaring unemployment among African Americans is also high on the list of priorities. In February, that number hit 13.4%, even worse for black men, more than 16%, twice the national average. There are, of course, exceptions.
I want you to push up, exhale.
Since we profiled her new personal fitness business in Atlanta a year ago, Amber O'Neill has doubled her workforce.
What I've got right now is what I dreamed about, but when I got here, my dreams got bigger.
Today's report offers 31 recommendations to the president, everything from mortgage counseling to health care.
Very good. We're just getting that heart rate up,
so that more blacks might see their dreams become reality too. Ron Mott, NBC News, Atlanta.
As we move along here this Wednesday night, the big changes that could be coming soon to a doctor's office near you. And later in the broadcast, the event that brought the president to Arlington National Cemetery today.
With just a few adjustments, the plan we worked on for your retirement makes sense. Just stay on track.
What is...
That's the guidance you get from Fidelity.
Thanks.
Stay on the line!
Whatever your destination, Fidelity has the people, guidance, and investments to help you find your way. Fidelity Investments. Turn here.
The classic flavors of Tuscany. Inspiration for Fancy Feast Elegant Medley's Tuscany entrees. Restaurant-inspired dishes with long grain rice and garden greens. Is it love or is it Fancy Feast?
Are you and your gray hair facing an identity crisis?
My hair says experience. My hair says energy.
Touch of Gray. The best of both combs away a little gray, never too much, just right.
Now I look like I know what I'm doing and can still do it.
Touch of Gray.
Roundup Extended Control is no ordinary weed killer because it does 2 jobs at the same time. 1, it kills the weed you have, right down to the root. 2, it forms a barrier that prevents new weeds from growing for up to 4 months. Roundup Extended Control kills and prevents.
Beach home.
The 80 awesome calories of Silk Light provide 6 grams of protein and all the calcium of milk for a feeling of strength from start to finish.
Want faster pain relief? Get Advil Liquid Gels. They're faster and stronger on tough pain than Tylenol Rapid Release Gels. Advil Liquid Gels rush real liquid relief wherever you hurt. Advil Liquid Gels. Liquid fast, Advil strong.
Tonight, he's been visible and vocal selling his economic plan. Has America bought in? Countdown with Keith Olbermann. Tonight, only on MSNBC.
In health news tonight, President Obama campaigned on it. You've probably heard it, but what does it mean? The transition from paper to digital medical records. Big priority on the president's health care reform plan. A study out tonight says less than 2% of the nation's hospitals have fully electronic records. We get more from our chief science correspondent, Robert Bazell.
Aim. Okay, go.
The old way, mountains of folders often written in illegible scrawl and difficult to find.
Take your temperature and put your vital signs in.
The new way, a doctor or nurse types in notes, medication requests, and views the entire medical history, including scans and lab reports.
What does it tell you?
It basically tells us almost everything I want to know about the patient.
The Obama administration wants the whole country's medical system to be electronic in 5 years.
This will cut waste, eliminate red tape, and reduce the need to repeat expensive medical tests.
You see the computers in the room.
Dr. Stephen Corwin is Chief Operating Officer of New York Presbyterian Hospital, which is totally electronic.
When we put electronic ordering into place, all our physicians having to do electronic ordering, our medication errors went down by about 80%.
In addition to their enormous benefit, electronic medical records have two big challenges. One is patient privacy, and the other is the ability of different computer systems to talk to each other. There have been privacy breaches already. Hackers getting into hospital systems, doctors losing laptops, and medical staff looking at records they don't need to see. Already strict laws protect medical privacy, paper or electronic.
A digital information highway of health information.
Some say they just need to be enforced.
How good is it to have a policy to protect health information privacy if there are no consequences for those who break that faith with consumers?
Many hospitals have different computer systems, making interaction difficult.
Ultimately, things have to connect up to one another. If you're at a Chase ATM, it works if you're a Citigroup customer. We have to be able to do that.
A tall order, but part of almost everyone's view of the future of medicine. Robert Bazell, NBC News, New York.
On last night's broadcast, we told you about some truly chilling new numbers showing the spread of Alzheimer's disease, an affliction that now touches so many families. Today in Washington, there was some moving testimony from a member of one of those families. Maria Shriver, who is First Lady of California and a longtime member, of course, of the NBC family. Maria was there to talk about her dad, Sergeant Shriver, brother-in-law to President Kennedy, former vice presidential candidate, and the founding head of the Peace Corps. Sergeant Shriver is now 93 and living with Alzheimer's.
Sergeant Shriver was an idealistic, intelligent, optimistic public servant, sharp, witty, a walking encyclopedia. His mind, a beautifully tuned instrument that left people in awe. That was then. Today, he doesn't even know my name. To be honest, that's still really difficult to wrap my own mind around. But that is the heartbreak and the reality of Alzheimer's, a reality that is terrifying and incomprehensible. At the age of 93, he still goes to Mass every day. And believe it or not, he still remembers the Hail Mary. But he doesn't remember me, Maria. I'd be lying if I didn't admit that that still makes me cry. But even so, in the past 6 years, I have gone from hopelessness to hope. I have hope because things are changing.
Maria Shriver testified today as a member of the Alzheimer's Study Group. Its report out today was sharply critical of the federal government, saying it lacked even the most rudimentary plan to deal with this Alzheimer's epidemic. The report noted that for every dollar spent on care, less than a penny is invested in research to find a cure for Alzheimer's. Another break, and when we come back, before the flood, as the Red River rises, strangers come together from all over to help make a difference by holding back that water.
My name is Jane, and I've got osteoporosis, but I'm an on-the-go woman. I've been active all my life. That's why I'm excited about Reclast, the osteoporosis treatment my doctor gives me once a year. My doctor says one IV of Reclast can help protect me while I'm on the go for 12 months. How? Well, Reclast helps to re-strengthen my bones to help make them resistant to fracture. And with Reclast, well, no other osteoporosis treatment is approved to help protect in more places. Hip, spine, even other bones.
You should not take Reclast if you're on Zometa, have low blood calcium, kidney problems, or you're pregnant, plan to become pregnant, or nursing. Take calcium and vitamin D daily. Tell your doctor if you develop severe muscle, bone, or joint pain, or if you have dental problems, as rarely jaw problems have been reported. The most common side effects include flu-like symptoms, fever, muscle or joint pain, and headache.
Do what I did. Ask your doctor about Reclast. Year-long protection for on-the-go women.
I never thought it could happen to me. Heart attack at 53. I had felt fine. But turns out my cholesterol and other risk factors increased my chance of a heart attack. I should have done something. Now I trust my heart to Lipitor.
When diet and exercise are not enough, adding Lipitor may help. Unlike some other cholesterol-lowering medications, Lipitor is FDA approved to reduce the risk of heart attack, stroke, and certain kinds of heart surgeries in patients with several common risk factors or heart disease. Lipitor has been extensively studied with over 16 years of research. Lipitor is not for everyone, including people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. You need simple blood tests to check for liver problems. Tell your doctor if you are taking other medications or if you have any muscle pain or weakness. This may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect.
I was caught off guard, but maybe you could learn from my story.
Have a heart-to-heart with your doctor about your risk and about Lipitor.
I love softball. I live for it. I want to play with reckless abandon. Yeah, I want to play like I'm 18. When I play sports like this, I have pain. I hurt all over. To deal with the pain, I take a leave. It allows me to play 3 games a day and not hurt. If I didn't have a leave to help me with the pain, I'd be sitting on the sidelines. My name is Mark Hamby, and I'll never stop playing softball.
Americans hounded by bill collectors. Hidden cameras revealed their dirty tricks. Dateline Special Series, Friday, 10/9 Central on NBC.
Nightly News at nightly.msnbc.com.
We are still asking for and still getting your stories of good news in this bad economy, the good things people are doing for each other. You can send yours to our website. This one is a lot like a story we did in Denver recently. Came to us from Jason in Oak Park, Michigan. He writes, I would like to nominate Matt Rafferty, owner of the Whistle Stop Restaurant and Bakery in Birmingham, Michigan. He's giving back to the community he serves by doing a Name Your Price for Dinner week, pay what you can. We haven't had it easy in Michigan this past year or so. What Matt is doing could be risky for his business, but he wants to give back to the community. People are responding to where there's a great need. Right now, the volunteer effort to hold back the waters of the Red River in the upper Midwest is enough to restore your faith in humanity. They are making a difference, and NBC's Kevin Tibbles has our story tonight from Fargo, North Dakota.
Adding insult to injury, today it snowed. And yet to Fargo and other points Midwest, they came by the thousands. Jesse Fritchman, a student teacher from Duluth, Minnesota, drove here, sandbagging on his spring break.
There's 200 people standing here. They all need help. And they're all friendly, and they're all, just here to help each other. I don't think anyone knows who lives here. They're all just here to help.
Cities and towns throughout the Midwest are now also facing a welcome flood of volunteers. Today in Fargo alone, 5,000.
Oh, it's overwhelming. I mean, we had people from probably 250 miles away, unknown to me at all, and they just came and asked what they could do.
Websites like Craigslist are being used to round up workers. Jerry Pilkington, 5 hours away in Minneapolis, St. Paul, put the call out on Facebook, took a day off work, and headed south.
It took about 15 minutes, and I had a bunch of people volunteer, and so here we are.
Lori Mackery joined the caravan from the Twin Cities.
I've always wanted to help out, and when people need help.
It's a no-brainer. You're in the car.
That's right. You got it.
Unless it's me that needs help.
A huge garbage disposal warehouse is now dubbed Sandbag Central. It's here that 24-year-old Kristen Sanchez has come from Iowa. She grew up in Fargo and followed the volunteer efforts on Twitter.
It was about knowing that my city needed something, someplace that I love, that I've called home for how many years. I needed to be here.
So many volunteers. Organizers say they expected nothing less.
We're from the Midwest. We work hard, we play hard. We've worked hard this week, and we're going to get it done.
And getting it done is an army of regular folks with strong arms and big hearts. Kevin Tibbles, NBC News, Fargo.
Great story, and we're hoping for the best there. We're back in a moment with the honor the president bestowed today, long delayed.
She's losing her battle against nasal allergies, but we found a way to fight it. Omneris to the nose! Omneris works differently than many other allergy medications. Omneris fights nasal allergy symptoms that occur from allergic inflammation. Relieve those symptoms with Omneris. Side effects may include headache, nosebleed, and sore throat. Mission accomplished. Oh, incoming! Ask your doctor about Omneris. In the battle against nasal allergy symptoms, Omneris combats the cause.
I care about how I look. That's why I use CoverGirl's new Simply Ageless makeup with Olay Regenerist Serum. A department store brand can glob up in lines and actually make you look older. Simply Ageless makes you look amazing. From Olay and easy breezy, beautiful CoverGirl.
We were flattered when Regenerist beat the $100 cream, flabbergasted when we creamed the $700 cream. For under $30, Regenerist Microsculpting Cream hydrates better than 32 of the world's most expensive creams. Fantastic. Phenomenal. Regenerist.
93% of those who tried Activia would recommend it.
Jillian, you had occasional irregularity. I know that you were just living with.
That was my normal.
I thought that was normal. What changed?
I saw Activia in my mom's fridge, tried it for a couple weeks, and it's liberating.
Activia is clinically proven to help regulate your digestive system in 2 weeks when eaten every day.
Activia!
And now, try a delicious blend of cereal, fiber, and Activia yogurt. New Activia Fiber.
When you drive a Chrysler, Jeep, or Dodge vehicle, you're not just getting behind the wheel, you're getting behind an American car company. So it's our responsibility to deliver the best vehicles on and off the road. Our quality and reliability are the best in company history. We've improved fuel economy on 73% of our vehicles over last year and offer a best-in-the-business lifetime powertrain warranty. And now everyone gets our employee price, plus generous cash allowances on most models, plus 0% financing for well-qualified buyers. Hurry in. Employee pricing plus ends March 31st.
Thermacare wants to know, where does it hurt?
My aching back.
Target the pain with Thermacare heat wraps. Thermacare is clinically proven to deliver real heat that penetrates deep to relax tight muscles all day. Try Thermacare heat wraps and wear it where it hurts.
Robitussin knows one of the reasons we cough is to help clear away mucus. Robitussin DM Max has a double dose of the medicine that helps clear mucus while also controlling your cough. Robitussin DM Max, double the strength against mucus for a reason.
This is a KGW News Channel 8 update.
Next, 2 fugitives wanted for beating a Washougal man and leaving him for dead have been arrested in Mexico. How police tracked them down. Plus, the TriMet route cuts that could make things tough for riders.
And riders and skiers have had a great spring break so far. When sun lovers will get what they need at 6.
Tonight, there is a 99-year-old man in Washington, D.C. who must now feel he has seen it all. John Finn was the first man to receive the Medal of Honor for heroic actions in World War II. In fact, when he did what he did, it wasn't yet clear we were in another world war. On the morning of the Pearl Harbor attack, he stood at his .50 cal machine gun for 2 solid hours, firing at incoming Japanese planes, despite being wounded more than 20 separate times. Well, today is National Medal of Honor Day, and at a wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery, John rose up from his wheelchair, walked and stood at the side of his commander-in-chief as taps was played. And then late today, John Finn visited the White House for the first time in his life. President Obama hosted John in the Oval Office. FDR was never able to give John his medal. Admiral Chester Nimitz placed it around John's neck 67 years ago in a ceremony on the deck of the USS Enterprise in Pearl Harbor as the war in the Pacific still raged on. So today really made up for lost time, 4 months short of John's 100th birthday. Now he has, in fact, seen it all. And John Finn, we salute you. That's our broadcast for this Wednesday night. Thank you for being with us. I'm Brian Williams. We'll look for you tomorrow evening. Good night.
A mystery unraveling.
This is certainly not what
any of us was hoping for.
A decade-long search for a missing teenager is over. The remains of Stephanie Condon identified, and now an arrest. We talked to the man who found her. Trimming TriMet. Portland's transit agency unveils its hit list, the bus routes that could be cut, and how Max may come less often. And score one for nature. Congress passes the wilderness bill giving 2 million acres of land federal protection. Why some say the bill will cost jobs.
From the KGW HD studios, where the news comes first. News Channel 8 at 6 starts now.
Hello, I'm Joe Donlin.
And I'm Tracy Berry. First at 6 tonight, we begin with breaking news. A father and son arrested in the brutal beating of a Washougal man. The big break in Ensenada, Mexico, and tonight detectives from Skamania County are on their way to bring back their suspects. News Channel 8's Ann Yeager joins us with this huge development, Ann.
Tracy, Mexican police and U.S. Marshals arrested Michael and Tevin Collins in Ensenada this morning. Tonight, the father and son are being deported to Southern California en route back to Washington State. The two were accused in the brutal beating of Robert Tracy last month in the Dugan Falls area of Skamania County. Tracy, who was out for a cross-country ski, was nearly killed and left for dead near a creek bed. Police say that Collins beat Tracy with a wooden stick, then stole his car. The television show America's Most Wanted generated brand new leads in the case. Skamania County detectives tracked the...
Information on living at Terwilliger Plaza and the new expansion at Terwilliger's website.
Pacific Oncology, offering advanced diagnostic imaging services and state-of-the-art medical oncology and radiation therapy in an integrated cancer care.